The exciting anticipation of launching a new business. Oh, that feeling, right? The formation, the naming, the first customer, validating an MVP. It feels so wonderful. But that excitement can quickly fade if a newly minted founder isn't properly prepared for startup life. Born into an entrepreneurial family, our guest is deeply empathetic to the struggles and challenges entrepreneurship presents to you all. And that's why she launched a special startup platform to help entrepreneurs begin their businesses on the right foot. Stay tuned, everyone, for a delicious conversation on the Startup Life Live Show. Let's glow. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Startup Life Live Show. I'm your host, Ande, Lyons, 4 times founder and startup champion to founders around the world. And after raising 4 businesses of my own, I know what you're crawling through every day. I got a pretty good idea. I don't have to use much of an imagination to understand what you're doing. And I am in awe and wonder of you getting up every day, holding on to that North Star of why you are moving forward with your business and facing those challenges and distractions and obstacles every single day. And I'm deeply grateful that you carved out time to tune in to the Startup Life Live Show, because you are going to up your game listening to this conversation. It's going to help you improve. And as you improve, that's right, so does your startup. I'm sending out a big yoo-hoo to all the viewers, live, replay. Thank you for tuning in. And a special hello to the podcast listeners. Love that you're tuning in as well from wherever you are. Be sure to connect with me, with the guest. I just want to remind you, we're here to add wind to your sails and open doors for you. If you're tuning in through video, please like the video from wherever you're watching. And if you're on YouTube, that's right, be sure to subscribe, okay? And click that bell icon so you get a notification. And if you want to get the deep dive alert whenever I post a new show, hop on over to the Startup Life Live meetup group. This way you'll get all the details on who's coming on the show, and it could be someone right in your category. And you know, we love questions here at the Startup Life Live Show. So swing by, ask your question. We're here to answer what might be going on for you with your startup. I have a few Ande-licious announcements I want to share with you today. There's this really cool program going on, and it's Driving 2043, and it's an early stage startup accelerator designed to advance electric vehicle adoption in the U.S. Through this program, early stage startups will have a unique opportunity to advance the development of their product, hone their business model, and demonstrate product market fit through training and one-to-one advising from leading automotive, EV, clean tech, and startup leaders. Applications are due December 7th. You see the link right there. We'll put it back up there, innovationstudio.org/programs /scale/driving 2043. It's in the show notes. Check it out if this is a category you're in. I'm sure they're going to have another one. So if you're catching this down the road, check them out. And speaking of phenomenal companies that are going to help you, Scroobius, a human-first fundraising experience. This platform helps you pull a pitch deck and pitch presentation for investors together in the best way possible, the most affordable way possible. Visit Scroobius.com/pricing and receive 15% off first-tier pricing when using the promo code Ande15. So visit Scroobius.com. If you have any questions, go to info@Scroobius.com. So many good and delicious announcements to help you and your business. But let's get on to the good stuff. I can't wait to bring our wonderful guest on to the show here. Let me tell you, it's Alejandra Santos. She began building her startup resilience muscles years ago, and she arrived in Miami from Honduras at the age of 17 with no support, money, or family. And during her first years in the US, Alejandra struggled to keep a roof over her head and food on her table, while at the same time pursuing an education. And boy, did she knock it out of the park with the education. She persevered, earned degrees in finance and accounting, worked for 14 years as a finance and accounting consultant, and recently completed her master's degree from Pepperdine University. But what you're looking at here is her wonderful platform, Startup Tandem, helping entrepreneurs start their businesses off on the right foot with finance and business services curated specifically for startups. Let's bring Alejandra into the room. Welcome to the show, Alejandra Santos.
Hi, Andy. Thank you so much.
I am so happy you are here. And folks, Alejandra, when we were doing our tech check a few days ago, she goes, where are the maracas, right? That's what I need. I went right on Amazon and ordered some. So you're absolutely right. Where are you hailing from, Alejandra?
I am in Santa Monica, California.
Oh, okay. Let's just say one of the best places in the world. We lived in Pacific Palisades for a few years, so I know, just a gorgeous part of the world. Folks, let us know where you're hailing from. And I want to remind everybody that we are live right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, thanks to the oh so delicious StreamYard platform. And I think it's so important that you all remember to amplify your brand, share your business name, one-liner, and website URL in the comments. We will showcase and celebrate you and your wonderful work live during the show. And questions, come on. I know you have a burning question. This is what Alejandra and I are here for. Put your questions or comments into the threads. We all learn from each other. Your question could serve other founders from around the world when they watch the replay or listen to the podcast. So put them out there. We love to hear that. So, Alejandra, let's talk a little bit about you and your background, because your lived experience, in my humble opinion, prepared you to be a fierce female founder and the founder advocate that you are today. So please share your story of arriving in Miami and how you solved one problem after another to successfully launch yourself into the American culture while pursuing multiple degrees. I'm really in awe and wonder.
Thank you, Andy, for that introduction. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story as I am becoming who I'm supposed to be.
Yes.
Still on a journey.
Oh, until your last breath.
Until my last breath. So my life started when my mother died at the age of 16. So she died from cancer. And at that time, my world turned upside down. My father was not in the picture, so I basically was living with her side of the family. And at that time I realized, I was born in America. We lived here for a few years when I was a young kid, and then we were back and forth between Miami and Honduras because it is the closest place, to travel from Honduras. So at the time I realized, when she left, I said, I have two options. And it's really interesting that I actually thought about this when I was 16 and a half, right? Because you don't think about these things. And I thought, I have two options. I either stay here and live a life I feel trapped, that it was not mine, or I just go out there in the world and do something for myself. And I did that. But at that time, I never thought, what if something goes wrong? I never had those thoughts. I always said, I'm just going to do it. When you're younger, you're just fearless. You just throw yourself.
I always think of like Barbra Streisand, for example. She used to get on the stage, no problem. It wasn't until she became older that she had the stage fright. So you're absolutely right. I guess it's that, what have you got to lose, right? You haven't been in control in your life anyway. And so you get on a plane. Like, how did you land in Miami, and how'd you know to go to Miami versus Atlanta?
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. So at the time in Honduras, you're not allowed to travel as a minor until you're 21. So unfortunately, I told my dad that I was going shopping to Miami. So he signed my papers to let me go. Great. And I just never came back. He was really upset for a few years. He said, you tricked me, you lied to me. And I respect that 100%. I
Yeah.
see his point of view. But if I would have said, hey, Dad, I'm going to, I feel like this is not my life anymore. It turned too upside down. He would have not agreed with me because I was too young. And I completely see that as well.
Oh my gosh, he would have been terrified for you.
Yes.
As a, as a parent, my beautiful daughter all alone. She's only 17. What the? But, again, as I said before, this lived experience has prepared you to achieve anything in life. If you can say, I need to stir things up, this is not my life, I'm changing it now at 17. I'm just loving watching you unfold, Alejandra.
So, oh my God, at the time, so I went to Miami because my high school friend we graduated together was in Miami. So she said, why don't you get an apartment? I had my savings because the moment that my mother died, I basically started working. So I had my savings. I brought them with me. Why don't you just get an apartment here and you go to school? I'm like, yeah, why not? So I got an apartment. I got some roommates, and I kind of like situated myself. Yeah, and then
You're the
my
perfect,
life
like I was
started.
just sitting here, your favorite words, why not? And yes, I'll figure it out later. So
And to the day, I continue saying that. I'm like, why not? What is the worst that can happen? No, I failed again. Okay.
I learned what I didn't want to do. I learned what didn't work. Really, Alejandra, this is so wonderful. Thank you for having that type of spirit.
No, I owe it to my family. Honestly, my mother always raised me to be a fighter, never a pushover. She always said, in life, you fight back. My father, on the other hand, was more like, no, you don't fight back.
Oh no. Well, I think, in life you fight back. I'm feeling our first stitch that on a pillow moment, everyone. Absolutely. You do not sit it out, folks. You fight back in life. I love that advice, Alejandra. And yeah, sometimes we have that duality with our parents. The other one is scared, and then you get the other one's like, be fierce. And I love that your mom was such a wonderful feminine role model for you.
Oh, she was great. She was an independent, fighter her whole life, and she actually had a finance background. She had her own finance company in Honduras. The apple doesn't fall far away from the
Right.
tree.
The smarty pants brain that really loves numbers.
I love problem solving. That's,
Yes.
the part that I love about my job the most is sitting down. So I could have like a very busy day or a day, that's a lot of problems coming at me. And then I sit down with the founder. And we just have this amazing conversation. And out of nowhere, my day just turned around. I said, wow, what I'm doing is amazing.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to keep popping up Startup Tandem into the screen, folks. So you can go check out startuptandem.com. So, what is it? I mean, yes, your mom passed on to you a brain that loves to solve problems and you love to use numbers and data and that structure that finance and accounting gives us to solve problems. But what was it about this side of the balance sheet, so to speak, that really lights you up? Because for you to pursue that level of education and continue to work in this field, there has to be something that you just go, oh, that's so delicious. Give me more.
Yeah, I love finding trends. I love identifying trends, and numbers do that for you, right?
Right.
Like I remember that I was in Honduras. I graduated very young from high school, by the way. I graduated at six. Actually, my mom died the same day that was my graduation.
Oh
So I
my
didn't attend
gosh.
that day. But I actually went for a few months to this university in Honduras. And I was really good at teaching engineers accounting and finance at the time. And I was like a child, and I and engineers, and it was like calculus for engineering, and I don't remember, like a super hard class. And I just love that relationship that numbers do. That's what
Yes.
I like, the
Yes.
trends that you can find in numbers. You can actually find, like, as a person, right? Like, you can see, oh, you're falling back in trend. That's exactly what happens with numbers. You're falling back in trend. You can solve problems based on those trends. And I think that I know that is the way. If you know how to identify those trends, that is the way to achieve success in a company.
in a company and in life, because you can see when you're trending and making bad decisions personally too. But, and I love that your mom having her own business, it gave you the empathy, right? You saw what she went through.
Yeah, so it was both of them. My father had his own business too. I remember when I was a child, actually I had this conversation with him a week and a half ago. And I said, "Hey dad, do you remember when I used to be like 4 or 5 and you used to tell me, Alejandra, this is how you do a handshake. You need to look at me in the eyes and do a strong handshake like a boss." And I was like a child and I remember those stories. And he was a business owner himself. He had his own business all his life. That's all he did. He had a hardware shop in Honduras and he expanded into Miami. That's why we were traveling back and forth. And between both of them, my father and my mother, I became very empathetic because when you own your business, you go through ups and downs and you become very grounded, you become very humbled of that the high rises, yeah, but you know that not everything that goes up stays up, that comes down at some
That's
point.
right.
Yeah, so because of that I created this company, well, because of that and many other reasons, but that's one of the main
Yeah, we'll get
factors.
into that for
Yes.
sure. And so let's talk a little bit about those ups and downs, because it builds our muscles, our ability to be tenacious and persistent, but most important, to be resilient, so that when we get knocked down, we go, whew, dust ourselves off and go, okay, what did I learn from that? It's an opportunity to grow, right? What do I take away from that? Where's the seed from that adversity, that golden seed that will help me learn and do something better? Do you have one or two, other than the extraordinary trip to the US and building your life here and going to school? But as you got into the workforce, some of the things that you learned from watching in corporate America and yourself as well, that you can say, that taught me fill in the blank. Please share.
Yes, 100%. So well, I mean, I went through a lot of struggles. Yes. One point I was homeless. Well, I lived in my car. I call that is
That's
still homeless.
homeless. I mean, it's great that you've got the car and not underneath the bridge, but
Yes,
still, it's very scary.
yes, especially as a woman,
Yeah.
I was in college, I was really young, and I was in a bad situation with a roommate. So I was in a car for a few weeks living at the time, and my friends were really nice that they gave me a couch to crash on some nights, or I used to take a shower at the gym, and I figured it out really quick, right? I said, okay, we need to get our life together. And just like that, there were a lot of ups and downs. I mean, I remember that I cried my eyes out to financial aid all the time, saying I basically emancipated myself. I don't have anyone here.
Right.
Please give me more money. Like, please help me out. And yeah, they thanks to a lot of people in my life that had good hearts, I was able to move forward. I feel like those were definitely angels that came to me because,
Absolutely.
yeah, at the time, you just, yeah, I reached out to my family and everything, but we were in so bad terms because I decided to stay. They were not.
They needed time to adjust.
Yes.
And talking to you was not going to help.
No, no, not at all. So,
Oh, but Alejandra, and I know listeners and viewers, you're just going, oh my gosh, this woman is so strong and so fierce. You're so committed to how you wanted your life to be. You were willing to be significantly uncomfortable, Alejandra. And I just know that everybody listening right now is just honoring you and your journey so much. And you represent so much to folks, because folks, it's hard work going after your dreams. You don't just win the mega bucks and there you are, okay? It takes thoughtful persistence, just like Alejandra being willing to just keep asking financial aid. Please give me more money, instead of accepting what they were going to give her and saying it's going to take me longer or I'll never get here. Keep dissolving those no's and keep asking for help and keep pulling on threads to where you can get the help. So let's talk about your vision and mission for Startup Tandem. How did you come up with the name? And when did you form this platform? And what inspired you to form the platform?
oh no, thank you, Andy. That's a great one. So, I usually do a lot of runs in the morning, and when I did this run back in 2017, I had this vision, right, of like companies, startups helping one another. I was very entrepreneurship at the time. I was under another company that were it's a famous startup, a very famous company now, but it was a startup at the time. And I just had this feeling, this overwhelming feeling that I wanted to help business owners, and how can I help them? So then years passed. I went into a consulting company that creates the same services that we do, but as an employee there, I witnessed a lot of heartbreaking things that I thought, we need to change. We need to change how consulting works for entrepreneurs, and that's what I've been doing. One of the big things, value set of Startup Tandem, is that committed we are committed to meet you wherever you are in your business journey, and we will grow with you. That is the motto. We will grow with you. It's 100% what we stand by. Our team and I breathe that motto. We will meet you wherever you are, because I feel safe knowing that you're safe. That's basically what it is. Like, for example, I just talked to an entrepreneur in London, and he was getting this very good offer from another company. And I said, you know what? I will match that offer, just because I know that with me, you're going to grow. I know we can do a good job for you. I know that you can tap into my network, and we will make you grow. And that to me just brings me a lot of satisfaction. But working for this company, this consulting company, charging all those amazing billable hours, that most of those billable hours are not even true. They're people just trying to meet their quota, and you're paying for it as a business
That's right.
owner.
And that as a consultant, there's a lot of just-in-time learning going on. They present the problem. You're like, I don't have a clue, but let me go figure that out, come back. And they think that, you're the seasoned person who knew everything about it. But can I just take a moment? I'm having an Andelicious moment here over your comment. I feel safe knowing you are safe. Alejandra, that speaks volumes about who you be, right? That speaks volumes about where your heart is, your intention is for these founders and entrepreneurs that you're helping. And I just want to thank you so much for having such a deep care and empathy for what a founder is going through, because you see the potential. And folks, there's that quote out there that says that you coach a person, this happens, you teach them, that happens. But when you believe in them, they win.
100%. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, that
Firm
is good.
believer.
And I love that. And I think it's just so, so important. Hey, Mia Voss. Okay, folks, you know what happens when Mia Voss swings by? She's tuning in from the road. Can you believe this incredible founder we have here today, Mia? And as everyone knows, whenever Mia stops by, that's right, we're going to promote and talk about Shit We Don't Talk About podcast that Mia hosts. Visit shitwedon'ttalkaboutpodcast.com and check it out. These are the conversations you want to be having, folks. And Mia knows how to bring them out of her guests and land some gems herself throughout the great conversation. So when you launched Startup Tandem and your motto was, we will meet you where you are, let's talk about that incredible stage of vulnerability when a founder is going from employee to employer to founder to owner, right? There's a transition that has to happen. And how do you help them get to, let's say, the early super, launching startup founders? Let's talk about that group first. How do you help them get into that mindset? How do you help them get grounded in the formation of the business? Are you going to be an LLC, subchapter S? What are your intentions? To, setting up, getting that dream team on board, that attorney, that accountant, the insurance broker, the banker, as well as, hiring folks. Share how you work with founders in that way, Alejandra.
That's exactly how we do it, Andy. That's exactly how we do it. So, uh, a long time ago, this lady came to me. Actually, no, she didn't come to me. She placed this post on a community chat, and I reached out to her immediately. She said, I don't know how to do this business. I know it's going to be good. And I said, okay, let's talk about it. And we got into a call. And she was between leaving her job and starting this full on, or doing both at the same time, right?
Right.
I definitely cannot speak to that because I always would say you have to take care of yourself first, because if you take care of yourself first, the rest will follow. So if you're not in a position that you can just deploy it out of right away, then do both until you can, and then go for it. But what we do is basically, they ask me like those questions, like what kind of structure should I make, and we go through like a whole questionnaire. It's like, what is your goals in the next few years, 5 6 years? And a lot of the things that I've seen is that business owners struggled to even envision themselves in the next 6 years or even 10 years. And you need to, even though you're here right now, when you start a business, you have to always act like you are there in the next 10 years. You have to think ahead, you have to prepare for the future. So we always go through these questionnaires and we start saying, okay, you want to go for an exit, you want to get acquired, you just tell me what you want to do, you want to just keep this as a family business. So then we determine exactly what is the structure that is more convenient right now or later, right? That could work for them. How many investors, how many founders, and we go from there. And then if they don't have any funding, then we start thinking, okay, so should we start making decks? Like, do we have pro formas? Should we go for equity dollars, or should we go for some, loans that are out there for small business owners, for startups? There's a lot of amazing avenues out there. Like the SBA has a great program, or there's a lot of lenders out there now that they're lending for minority
That's
or,
right.
yeah, women based. So you just have to do the work, right? Get the application, do your pro formas, and submit everything. You really don't get discouraged, is what I say, because you will be surprised. America is a hub for entrepreneurship, and it's going to continue to become a bigger hub for entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. There's so many opportunities, and I love so much that you're holding their hands. Here, let me guide you. You need to side hustle. Perfect. Keep that roof over your head, your tummy full, no problem. And by the way, Adam Grant says, I think it's like 32% or higher. Those with starting a business as a side hustle have a 32% greater chance of success, okay, than those who burn the bridges and jump off the ship and go, I'm going to do it. So I love that. I love how you walk them through, because folks out there, especially you want to be founders or who are thinking, you've got this great burning idea, but you don't even know where to jumpstart. Here you go. Startup Tandem is there for you. But also, there's nothing else that can prepare you. You need to get this type of coaching from the beginning to help offset the other abundance of mistakes you're going to make as you learn how to be in this seat. But, the fact that you hold everybody's hand through that very vulnerable period. And folks, don't think there's no money out there. You were absolutely right, Alejandra. And I love that at Startup Tandem, I bet you know some ways and creative ways, some non-dilutive type of capital, grants, things like that, or special loans for diverse founders. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. So it's you touch on really good points, Andy. The one that you have to start early, because it is true, you're going to make a lot of mistakes if you don't. Well, you're going to make a lot of mistakes no matter what. It's just how
It's
it's
part
gonna
of the
it's
adventure.
part of the journey. So, but the goal is to minimize a few of those mistakes, so that way you don't spend more money on the future.
Right.
So that is the goal. And there's a lot of grants, like you said, out there. I mean, there's this lenders out there that are doing grants for women, lenders out there that are doing grants for diverse founders. You just have to fill the applications out. But if you go to the SBA website, which is usually what I do, and then you go ahead and find exactly what lenders are doing what, it's a very good resource just to start there.
That's right.
But you can always reach out as well, and we can do it together. That's something that I actually love doing. I love learning what's out there for the community, so
Well,
we can.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you're talking about something that's really important, which is that map. This is great book out there and great process called the business canvas startup.tandem/map. And it takes you through what you need to go through. But you need people to ask you those important questions. So when you get the founder and now they've got the name and they've got the formation and they start to have to prove their minimum viable product, or let's say they've launched and they're like, uh-oh, things aren't going, or I know I'm doing something, I need to do something. Talk about that stage of how Startup Tandem, because you're so clear about we meet you where you are.
So one of the first things I do and I urgently tell everybody is when you are an entrepreneur and you have your business, you have to be on top of cash. Cash is king, my friends. Cash is king at all stages of the business, and especially when you are early. So what we do is we have this amazing simple templates where we can, develop a very simple, very scrappy, if you are very early, weekly cash flow model. And what we do is basically we analyze exactly what are the drivers of that burn, what is your burn each month, and when are you running out of cash. Like that, it will tell us that the week that, I mean, not to the day, but the week that you're running out of cash. And we prepare for that, right? We prepare for those moments. If you're not meeting revenue numbers, then we need to start thinking about what kind of capital infusion we can bring you into the company, because you will run out of cash. And those are the things that you need to know as a business owner. Even if you are scrappy and you're early, you have to at all times know where your cash is going to be. That's number one.
Can I just do like a big clap on that, folks? Please take that in, what Alejandra's saying. It's so true. And a lot of times, especially for the tech founders who they're doing their own coding or they're setting things up themselves, and it's great. But at the end of the day, there's this thing called marketing that you're going to have to do, customer discovery, all of those important things. They're going to take time and money. And by planning it out, you're removing the uncertainty, because you're going to be certain that you're going to run out of money at that time, instead of wondering, I wonder when I'm going to run out, how long is my runway? These are all buzzwords, folks, for startup life. And it's important that you have the cash. What else do you talk about with your founders?
So we do a lot of debt management and debt restructuring. But the main part is just depending on where you are on your stage, right? But the main part is basically creating those policies and those policies that keep you compliant. As you grow we try to make sure that, for example, you're not, as you grow, you have a team, your team member is not, paying the bill and you're not approving it. And you're just like, oh, it's fine. We're trying to make sure that you know exactly what's going on at your company at all times, because as you grow, you need that infrastructure. So we help you create policies in hiring people, in terminating people, because if you are in California, you are in for it. California is one of the most
we launched our .com in California. Let me tell you, the first person I hired was the HR consultant.
I did that too, Andy.
California wins for, how to get your employer sued. In so many ways, there's so many compliance challenges as an employee, as an owner, business owner in California. But oh my gosh, you are really making my heart sing with joy. Compliance issues. See, you really are living the other motto that you have, which is, I feel safe knowing you are safe. These are the things you're doing for everybody. I want you safe from making sure that, you're in the right formation, that you've got the right team, and that everybody's playing ball the right way, so nobody's going to get hurt. Oh my gosh, you're just like the fairy godmother who's watching out over everybody.
I like to think, that this company is coming from a place where I never had support, as a growing up, doing my own journey. So this is kind of like I am filling a void by helping a lot of people, and that brings me a lot of joy.
Absolutely. So when, and you and I both know that when a company launches and they get going, they have to prove that the market wants what they're selling. And you had to do that too. All right. So how did you figure out these things? How did you figure out the best pathway to deliver the information founders needed? How did you, and are you proving customers want what you're selling? And what is your customer acquisition strategy? Because all of these things are applicable to how you help founders, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the number one thing, right? When you have a business, you have to invest in a lot of marketing dollars in order to increase revenue, right? That's
Right.
the number one thing. So, but there's also another point in there. I've seen founders create a lot of mistakes in this area, either because they hire a full marketing team, and I'm going to say a blown up full marketing team, each getting paid like 100K, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is a huge overhead, guys. What is going on? We can definitely hire one person and, make it more efficient, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that go along with this. You want to make sure that you're getting a lot of revenue per head, right?
Right.
That's one of
Can
them.
let's just talk about that equation. What does revenue per head mean?
If you have 5 employees, you want to make sure that each one is bringing, at least 30-40% of that revenue, at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, nobody talks like this, Alejandra. This is eye-opening. Now, folks, if you've been in corporate America, sometimes you have a budget, right, for your department. You might be a cost center, and so you're not concerned about the revenue. But many groups within an organization and teams within an organization have to do that. And you have to do that with your own business. Revenue per head. Take that in. I'm going to
Yeah,
have to
it's a
talk
big
about
one.
that. It is a big one.
It's a big one, and most people don't a lot of business owners don't see it like that. They just want to have this big team, and these are the things that I teach them, right? And it's actually what I do. Most of it is educational, but it's an educational in a way that I'm not going to say you need to do that, or no, I want to help you learn why we're doing this, why I am explaining, why I'm telling you should do this, right?
That's
At the end of the day, it's never my decision. It is your company. Like I always say, you will make your decisions, but it's my job as your partner, because that's what I consider myself. I don't consider my company to be, oh, we're going to do your bookkeeping, accounting, and we're done. Peace out. Goodbye. No, we're going to be there for you. Like if you need me, you tell me, Alejandra, I need to restructure this. Oh, I will be there for you. I will
right.
find those partners if we don't have them already. I will make those connections for you. That's my job. That's what I'm here for. So at the end of the day, I'm your partner into this journey, your partner
Well,
that has no stake in your company.
that's even better. That's called an unbiased partner, right? So important, Alejandra. And also the fact that these folks not only need their hands held, but the fact that you can help them crunch the numbers, help them look outside, looking in on their business. So often they're in the business and working their tails off and hustling away. But sometimes you're helping them step out and analyze their business as if it were in a lab and the business was in a petri dish, and asking really important questions. So how about you though? How did you fund your business? How did you find ways to get your business launched? Had you saved money over the years? Did you get a loan? Did you have to raise any money?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Andy. So I was very grateful. A few of the companies that I used to do consulting for at my previous employer decided to come with me. I mean, I didn't I didn't steal them, I swear. They just decided to come with me, and I'm gonna call them that they were my seed money, because they were the ones that were keeping me afloat when I started the business. And then after that, I just got more clients, and it's been self bootstrapped since then. Um, but
Good.
yeah,
You have a lean machine, but
yeah.
you've got some folks hustling with you, which is really fun, right?
Yes, I mean everybody in my team is. I'm very grateful for each person that has come into my team, especially for my Carlene. She's our HR consulting and
Yeah.
culture. We're actually creating an amazing culture for all. Yeah, a culture program for companies, enterprises, where we can help them create a culture for people to feel happy to go to work for, because it's going back to my life. I experienced a lot of that. I experienced being that person that wasn't heard. I experienced being that person that was not valued, that I had to be friends with someone to get a promotion. I experienced a lot of that, what is going on right now. Why are people quitting for, right?
Right.
And yeah, and we're trying to, we're creating a program to maybe not fix it, but maybe make it better.
Well, let's talk about that because culture is defined in so many different ways. And, I talk a lot about this too in the Startup Life Live show because so often founders are like, I'm just so busy. I can't think about diversity right now. I just have to hire the people I know who can get the job done. And it's like, no, from day one, you need to be thinking that you have a diverse group of folks for the diverse customers you're serving. And I hear that you want a culture where inclusion matters, where the person can be self-actualized instead of bullied and put into a box. What else, though, does culture mean to you? Because if you're setting up a program, let's define it.
Yes, no, thank you. So definitely culture is depending on the founder values or the owner values, right? That's it's independent to each one of them, but it's definitely a place where there is work-life balance, where there is growth. We encourage a lot of growth, personal development, a place where everybody can collaborate. And having diverse employees is the best way to go about it, just because they all bring a different perspective to solve a problem. And as a business owner, you want those perspectives. It's also being in a place where, I want to be a leader, and, we are equal, right? But I'm a leader still of my pod, but we're still, working together for the same goal, and we work with one another rather than you have to be my friend in order to get a promotion. It's kind of those value sets that the founder brings, but also that it should be in a company. So
Right.
those are the kind of the things that we're basing ourselves in right now. But the main thing is, recruiting the talent when it comes to early stage businesses. And that's why I go back to my point that I said, when you start a business, you have to go through you have to look at your vision, because you have to start acting for your big vision from the very beginning.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that the people that you hire are aligned with that vision. You want to make sure that the people that you hire have your same value set, or that share the value set of the company or respect it. We do a lot of as well. Personality tests, conflict management tests, and that's one of the things that we're going to be incorporated into the culture to make sure, that as we put personalities together and they can work together well, because that's part of it.
Right.
And it's a big part of it. But if you're already an enterprise and you already have to fix the already broken culture, which is harder to do. It's harder to fix something than to start from a very good place. So when you have to fix a culture, that becomes more troublesome. And at that point, we basically have to go into the leadership first and see, what do we have to work with, and then trickle down.
See, and there it is right there with your motto for the whole Startup Tandem, which is that we'll meet you where you are in your business. So, and this can happen so frequently. Founders almost get like, can I have a redo? No, you can't. But here's how we can help you. Again, Alejandra is a problem solver, everyone. So think Startup Tandem, but think every problem you have, Alejandra's sitting there going, oh, good. There's something I can go after and get my team on. Yay. We're sometimes we're like feeling defeated by all those problems. I just love that. And again, your being safe is your Alejandra's and her team's goal. And I keep going back to, I feel safe knowing you are safe. And that is a value that you bring. And that is the culture from your business at Startup Tandem. And so, you've answered so many of the questions that I had, that I shot over to you before we chatted. But let's talk about some other ways to, because we talked about tactics that newly minted founders can implement to start their businesses on the right foot. Let's talk a little bit more about how to repair and recover from the disasters that can happen, because folks can have, if they've got product, they can have manufacturing challenges. They can have that bad apple employee that they don't know, because founders are notorious for like, I don't want to fire anybody. It's my aunt's daughter, right? Or something. There's other ways that they might have some legal challenges that are bringing their business to a halt. Can you talk a little bit about the repair and recovery aspect of your business?
So that depends on what it is, the repair and recovering part. There's So let's just say there's an example. I worked with this company once, and yeah, they bring product from China, and at the time COVID hit, right? The
Right.
whole container situation that happened. I mean, containers were off to the roof. Like a $6,000 container was
Oh no.
$32,000 container. It was insane how much it went up, and the product was hold right at the docks for a long period of time, so you couldn't even move that inventory to sell it, and then it was just there grabbing a lot of fees just for holding it. So yeah, so this company had a really bad debt in the books, right? And that's one
Yes.
of the problems that I try to solve, right? Because I can only go so far, right?
Right, but helping them understand their margins and
Yeah.
how where can we have some savings so we can have a better margin so you can have more profitability, right?
Yes. I mean, at that time, I mean, you start looking at like, okay, let's dive into this amazing cash model again that you were not using, and let's look at your drivers for burn on each month. And we could see that definitely those containers were burning a lot of
Yes.
cash. Let's look at your margins, like you said. Okay, so I mean, and they are an omni-channel, so they were selling through the store, online through the store, and then they
Mhm.
were doing also selling through other avenues, like a big, I'm not gonna say the names, but big
Yeah.
other companies. Yeah. So they were selling their product, and when they were selling the product to the actual store, they were actually netting zero. That was because of how the price was, so they were
Been
not
there, done
getting anything. Yeah, they were at some point they were even losing if the container was way over more expensive. So what I did, one of the things that we could do is like I financed the line of credit for them with the actual duty, the
that.
actual
Mhm.
agency that was holding the custom duties. So I financed a line of credit with them with a good rate. One of the Considering they were very risky with their
Yeah.
balance sheet, I
Mhm.
was able to finance a good rate, and I got them a really good line of credit where it was applied for those duties so that we can, amplify that cash runway so we can make it a little bit work for ourselves. And then I started looking for lenders that we could, a lot of their contracts were coming up for a few of the current lenders. So their APRs were around the 30s. I'm not
Yep.
gonna, say the exact number just because those are, but they were around the 30s. And then I found a new lender that were giving them around the 15. So right
See,
there, we
right there,
just made a lot of
huge.
improvement. Yeah.
Huge. See, I love these stories for how you work with founders because your deep knowledge in finance and accounting means you're a creative person. You're a creative problem solver. And folks, don't ever doubt the fact that accounting and finance is a creative experience with some, of course, hard rules. Let's move on to how have you faced typical bias, right? As a female founder and a woman of color founder, do you have a way, a strategy, and that you actually can help coach the founders that work with you on managing and navigating this bias?
I speak louder. Uh, That's what I do. No,
Oh,
I definitely feel it. I feel it. I'm in a very male dominated industry. And I think that's the best. That's best. I think I know that because of my struggles in my past, I am was given this opportunity to create this company as a female Hispanic in a very white male dominated industry. And you would be surprised. I partner up with a lot of different companies out there that are supporting the underrepresented entrepreneurs, just like myself. And our one of our main contributions to the startup ecosystem is creating those programs or being part of those programs that we are helping one another to increase diversity in our group. So, yes, when you are in this position, just know who you are. know where you came from, and stand tall and speak louder, because at the end of the day, you don't have anything to prove to anybody, but you'll just have to do is work hard, and your work will prove itself.
Okay, here we go, everybody. That's it. And of course, Mia's agreeing too. Yep, I speak louder. And Mia's in an all male industry. She wears a hard hat. She's a building inspector for big commercial properties. So I know she's like, that's right. But that standing taller, right? And embodying the confidence, even though you're not feeling it, you're a valuable human being, diverse founders, and your presence is important. When we were talking earlier before we went live, you were talking about how selling has never been your favorite activity. How are you handling that as a founder? Because, founders, we have to sell, but it's not that it's comfortable, and it's definitely not easy. And it's not like that was what you cut your teeth on. Can you talk a little bit about that, Alejandra?
I am definitely not a salesperson. I'm just gonna say that, which is, as in my seat, you have to be a salesperson. I am the CEO. I'm the revenue driver of the company. I have to be a salesperson, but I am not. I don't have to sell our services or myself, because I'm over here trying to help you solve problems, and I'm trying to help you see the value in that service. That's what I do. I basically just communicate to founders, hey, listen, this is where you are, and we can help you do this. And to me, I just come as a problem solver, as a partner in your journey, not as a salesperson. And that, I feel like that could go wrong, or that could be okay, just depending on the personality type. But I just know, that I have to stay true to myself and true to who I am. And if something's not right, and if I have to be too pushy, it doesn't feel right, then I won't do that. I just want people to know that what we're doing is to help you solve problems, to create a business that's going to be successful. I don't want you to hire the wrong employee or get sued, because businesses go under for terminating employees the wrong way. So that's what we're trying to avoid, and I want to help you see the value in that. And if you see the value and we can be great partners together, then let's do it.
See, there you go. You're in love with the problems that founders are facing and the founders themselves. And that, to me, is the equation and ingredients for success. The formula for success, excuse me, not equation, the formula for success, because now you're there coming from a very genuine, holistic place. You certainly get the marketing out there. You make sure everybody is aware that they can find you at Alejandra at startuptandem.com, and to visit Startup Tandem. You do all the good marketing communication pieces, but you understand that your moat is that you are bringing everything, all of these tips, tools, and advice, the way that Alejandra and her team at Startup Tandem will bring them for the people they want to serve. And founders, this is one of the best ways to differentiate yourself, is to really remember what Seth Godin, the brilliant marketing guy that he is, always says, which is, sure, it's been done before, but not by you and not for us. So that's your unique opportunity to soar. So you do a terrific job at helping founders map out success for themselves from day one to what it looks like 5, 6, 10 years out. And boy, is that helpful for, when you started with the end in mind, right? And of course, that end is going to shift and go all over the place, but at least you have a big umbrella from under which you're working. What does success look like for you, Alejandra? Is it an outcome? Is it a feeling? And I always have to ask this, whose measuring device are you using? Because boy, people will love to tell you what success looks like, that they think should look like for you, versus what it looks like in your heart. What does success look and feel like for you?
Oh, thank you, Andy. I feel like I'm successful already. I'm successful. I feel happy. I feel that I wake up every day with a purpose, and I am doing my purpose in this world. Of course, I have plans and more goals. I'm a very ambitious person. I would love to create a fund. That's one of my goals in the near future, is create a fund and help continue contributing to the startup ecosystem in a way that I can provide that support in a bigger scale, right? To diverse entrepreneurs and, women of Latin countries. That's one of my big dreams. Or, create a school fund to help students, that come to this
Whoop.
board.
Yep. And
Okay.
yeah, and Alejandra, I love that something fierce, and you're going to be ideal as a fund manager because you're already doing the parts and pieces right now. But more importantly, you represent, because folks, this is not some cheesy cliche. If you can see it, you can be it. And just recently, a phenomenal scientist, doctor, or woman said for her that was the biggest thing, was seeing somebody in her field doing it, and that is why it's so important for her to be out there, because if you see it, you can achieve it as well, not just be it, but achieve it. And so you are just a shining star and example. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that vision. I'm definitely going to hold that vision for you. And yes, you already are successful. You have accomplished and met so many of your goals through your sheer determination and commitment to your dreams. I am, again, in awe and wonder of everything you're doing. So when you're feeling inadequate, right? And it's not if, folks, when you feel inadequate, when you feel that imposter syndrome, like, what the heck? Why am I here? Or some days it's hashtag why bother? What helps you stay strong, Alejandra? What mindset hacks can you share with viewers and listeners that have helped you get through those moments of doubt?
It's going to happen. It's just, you have to accept that you're going to have those days and those moments that you're going to say, what am I doing? Wow. What? Why me right now? But you have to, it's a moment. It's a moment in time. And that's when you have to put your big girl pants and don't be a victim of the situation. I think that has helped me a lot. When I have a bad moment, it makes me second guess everything that I'm doing. I say, I'm not a victim. I'm going to head on, take on that problem or challenge or whatever it is, that just turn my mentality the other way and fix it. And from there on, I do a lot of journaling. Journaling has helped me a lot. As a business owner, you should definitely keep your journal next to you, journal your thoughts. I also have, I work out a lot. I keep a very healthy routine that I think as a business owner we struggle with. And I am a victim of that right now, actually. Because I used to work out, I was be consistent, but now sometimes I forget what time it is until my
Right.
dog comes barking at me saying, hey, are you going to walk me? Are you going to feed me?
And boy,
And
thank goodness the dog is there, right?
yes.
Oh,
So just take care of yourself, take care of your mind. It's going to happen. Entrepreneurship, having a business, it's not easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but it's definitely worth it. So
yes.
stick to it, grab the journal, journalize. I sometimes have meetings and clients are just talking to me about all of their problems. I feel like a therapy. I am here. I can listen to your problems as well. I do the same thing with a few friends of mine. I just vent out. If you have that person next to you that you can give you an ear, you can also use that ear to vent out. And just remember, at the end of the day, it's just a moment. You have to snap out of it. Or it's a day, like if you're gonna have a bad day, it's just one day, not a 1 week, not a 1 month, that moment, and then snap out of it.
Oh, I love that, something fierce. We got to do the founder journey cheer right here, folks. Love that extra scream in there for that founder journey advice. Seriously, outstanding. And one of the reasons, folks, that you want someone that you can vent with and talk things out with is because as you talk out your problems, you see the solution. They can just sit there munching away or drinking their wine or coffee and you're getting it out. Same with journaling. Journaling helps you get out your fears, your concerns, but also your aspirations and your dreams and your gratitude, and you keep all of that moving forward. You won't get stuck. And your point too about taking those breaks, it is absolutely key, folks, that you unplug from your startup, as delicious as it can be and addicted sometimes, because you're just so excited. You have to tune out to restore your creativity and your capability. So you've been at this for a while as an entrepreneur. Tell everybody how entrepreneurship has served you both personally and professionally.
Oh my goodness, I have grown so much in the last few years. I think I definitely, no, I don't think, I know that I am coming better with people because I deal and I work and, I talk to different personalities. So I have become more empathetic as well. Given the life that I've had, I have to say that my male side is, very strongly developed. I'm a very strong headed person and I am a very direct communicator. But throughout this journey, I have become more empathetic. I have become more soft spoken, and I'm also, more approachable with people. So I've grown in a lot of different ways, in intangible ways and also tangible ways as well. Obviously, because I have a great team that has kept me going, that has kept this company going. I'm very grateful for each one of them that have contributed so much to the Startup Tandem community, and we continue to create big things. Yeah, it's a team effort. It's not just Startup Tandem is not Alejandra, everybody. Startup Tandem is a team of people that sit down and think about how to solve problems. That right there in the back is Carlene, by the way. Awesome.
Yay, Carlene.
She's great. She's great. I always say to her, you compliment me so much because like I said, I'm a very strong person. I have that male side very, developed, but she has a psychology major and she has all of the amazing degrees and she's so soft spoken. I'm like, you are my other half.
It's the yin and yang, right?
Yes,
The team.
exactly.
You want the people who complement you, right? That are not you. It is
Exactly.
key to your success. And I love that you talk about the masculine side of yourself. Women, female founders out there, remember that you tap into your delicious masculine energy when you're trying to get things done, and that you become more receptive when you're tapping into your feminine energy. That's your empathy, and you really need that balance, and they're there for you to call on. And for you men, it's the same thing. It's, you've got that strong get to the point out there hunting with the spear versus, the gathering of the information in the meadow and all of that. We have both sides of that in our nature, and it's important that we tap into both for this success. Oh my gosh, this has been such an enlightening and inspirational and informative conversation with you, Alejandra. Any last words before I pop you into the green room and wrap up the show?
No, thank you so much, Andy, for this amazing opportunity. You know where to find me if you ever need to go into a conversation about a business that you want to create or a business that you already have. Talking to me is for free. You don't have to worry about anything like that. I am here for you. I always like to make a connection. I never have an expectation when I talk to people. I like to make that connection with them. And I am looking forward, Andy, to work with you because when I create that fund, you're going to be part of it. I'm going to bring you on board.
Hey, I love that. I am all about the Startup Tandem. I think what you're doing is outstanding and so important and uniquely you. You are a combination of phenomenal assets. I know I can talk like that because of the accounting and finance background.
No liabilities. It's all assets.
Exactly. And that you bring so much to the founder journey. But I will never forget, I feel safe knowing you are safe. That to me is just what you are all about. And that is your core value and how you enhance others as well. So thank you so much, Alejandra, for joining me on the show. I'm going to pop you in the green room. Say bye to everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
That's so great. All right, everyone. Delicious conversation with a phenomenal female founder, what Alejandra walked through in life and what she has persevered and stayed tenacious about. But most importantly, she has asked for help, for advice to help get to the next level. I know you are in good hands when you reach out to Startup Tandem. Let me share who's coming on the show next. We're going to have a delicious conversation with the oh so wonderful Lisa Morales Elbro, and she's the managing partner And she's a VC fund manager and serial entrepreneur, but she's the managing partner and co-founder of Refashioned Ventures, a New York-based early-stage supply chain technology venture fund that invests in startups refashioning global supply chains. And her other business, Refashioned OS, is automating on-demand manufacturing for the 2.7 trillion fashion industry via the first network of localized microfactories connected via a shared tech stack. Good for people, planet, and profits. This is very exciting, folks, because you know, or maybe you don't, but the fashion industry is a huge contributor to global warming on so many levels, not just gas emissions, but in plastics and everything else. And to bring manufacturing, especially in the apparel industry, localized is a beautiful strategy for the planet, for the people, all right, and for your profit. So please tune in. And how do you know whenever I post a new show? Then you join the Startup Life Live meetup group. So come on over, join the group. This way you get a deep dive into who we are serving and talking about and interviewing and hearing all the sensational startup stories and founder journey stories, just like we heard today with Alejandra. So delicious. So as I sign off, I want to remind all of you, please remember that you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and as we say here in Boston, wicked smarter than you think. So you've got this. I believe in you. I'm in awe and wonder of everything that you're doing with your startup. Reach out and say hello wherever you glow on social. I'd love to blow you a kiss. But until then, I'm wishing you a delicious day everywhere you glow. Mwah! Cheers, everyone.